I think this time when we go around, usually kind of have people share something a little bit about themselves. And tonight, I would love to hear something you are proud of that maybe people here don't know about. So
that requires a little bit of thought.
a little
Can
thought.
I take a moment of silence?
Yes, a moment of silence to think. And to just take a deep breath and we're here without our kids tugging on us wanting something different than we want for dinner. Sorry, that is
Yes.
no experience.
Do you have something you need to talk about?
Yeah, really.
I left and said, yeah, I know. All right, something I am proud of that I did when I was in high school and college. I was a diver and I dove through college. I had scholarship at the University of Minnesota and I dove all 4 years. I'm on a poster and I'm kind of proud of that. That's what made me think it popped up on Facebook. That was my old coach that she has that up in her office. She's a dive teacher. So it's just kind of fresh in my brain like, oh yeah, I used to do that. So.
That way?
Let's see. Last week I was in Orlando, Florida, presenting at a national conference for educators. So that was exciting, and it was warm, and we got feedback afterwards. Everybody ran up to us and said, your session was the best session of the entire conference. So that was exciting. It was nice to get that feedback. So yeah.
I'm Jale Navi. Some of you who know me probably know this about me, but I'm a meeting planner by trade, and I'm 24/7 a meeting planner. I'm proud of myself because I keep everyone together. I keep friends together. I plan everything, and it keeps everyone organized, and it makes me happy to do it. So,
Stephanie Schmid. And all I can think of that comes to mind is I'm a really good hula hooper. So that's kind of something people don't know about me. So I'm just going to share that I'm a pretty good hula hooper, and I'll just leave it at that.
Any awards in there?
Right? We'll hang out sometime. Yeah, we'll have a
that is a skill.
And then to win it, you're on my team. I don't know. I did a 10K a few years ago. That was pretty exciting. I was pretty proud of myself. I thought I was going to die. But, once I finished, I thought I could do it again. So I thought that was a pretty good sign. But I haven't done it again. I'm lacking time. Yes.
I'm Christy Riley. It's my first time here.
Welcome.
So nobody knows anything about me. I could just tell you
Yeah.
anything. But the reason I'm here is because I quit my job, and so I have lots of free time. I'm moving into private practice, so that's what I'm proud of myself for, making a big jump in my career.
Nice.
Yeah. I am Taya. Yay! My husband calls it meticulous. He says it's not his answer. We'll go with that. I'm Jen Pitchka, and I don't know. I guess maybe I grew up dancing, and I just started teaching for the first time, so that was something new and exciting that I've been teaching. I'm not a teacher by trade, so it's all new.
I'm Nikki. What are we supposed to do?
Something you're proud of.
That people here might not know.
I'm really good at making kids and parents cry at my work. I'm a special ed teacher, so I break many parents' hearts.
Oh.
Trying to save the world.
Sarah Goodsmith. So I graduated debt-free of my master's and undergrad school.
Nice.
Master's degrees in undergrad. And paid for by myself, not parents.
Oh, that's good.
So that was huge.
I'm Sonia Steele. I teach fourth grade here. I'm also a former parent of 2 Pine Bend students. What am I proud of? Well, I was thinking of one, but then I switched because I did get a hat trick at our boot hockey tournament. But my first one was that I used to be the bouncing girl for the Winter Carnival.
Oh, that's cool.
My name is Ted Inman. I'm the principal of Pine Bend. And I guess one of the things I'm most proud of is I'm an avid runner. And I have not missed a day of running outside since December 17th, 1997.
Oh, my gosh. Even days like this and everything?
Yep.
When do you run? In the morning or?
Yep.
That is so cool. That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
It has to be 35 or above for me. I do not go outside.
60 for me.
Yep. Yeah. That's pretty good.
I can't follow up. On that. I'm Sarah Porter. I guess I'm proud that I grew up on a farm.
Mm.
I'm Jen Johnson. I'm actually a really good gardener. I started my plants from seeds.
Oh, wow.
I'm Rochelle McCord, and something I'm recently proud of is that I work for 3M, and there's an organization within 3M that has a 40th anniversary coming up, and I was appointed to work with the Penumbra, who's also going into their 40th season year, and I was appointed to work with them to finish a special piece for the year that we're having.
I'm Ruth Alex. This is like the thing ever went to say. I'm proud of going back to school as an adult and doing way better than when I was 18. So, I thought it was a good student.
Very cool.
When there's no distraction.
All right, thank you for sharing. It's just kind of fun to get to know people. Just enjoy that. All right, moving on. Ted, did you want to be moved up, or do you think we'll have time to switch you in?
We got about 20 minutes.
Okay. All right, so Jennifer is not here, so we'll do the secretary's report next time. So that treasurer's report.
Yeah, and there's not much to report on. So I've got a balance sheet out for January. Nothing big, just over $600 of checks that went out. Not a lot of income, $49. So, I mean, so we're still over $19,000 of assets. And really, it's going to be kind of coming up in the next couple months, probably with more of the expenses with Salty Carnival and then all the field trips for the classrooms taking. But, so, yeah, that's kind of not much to report. Any questions on any of our numbers? Or?
What's your balance that you want to have at the end of the year? Like, that you like? Yeah.
I think last year we had $6,000. We usually have, well, last year we had about 10,000 or 8 to 10,000 come in from the carnival that we used for the remainder of field trips and expenses. So, yeah. That's it.
Any other questions? So I want to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Jones?
I guess I will. Sarah just wanted me to let everybody know that any info for this month's newsletter needs to be to her by February 18th. There is no school, obviously, on Monday due to President's Day. Conferences, again, as always, were very well attended. I don't have the exact count, but we're very close to probably what we were in the fall. That was about 97% of our families showed up, which was pretty outstanding. When you look at the overall number of students that we have in the building, it was over 605 now. And I just want to again thank you. I know the staff would do it. Someone will probably do it, but thank you again for the generous food that was brought in. I know the staff really appreciates that on those nights, so we don't have to worry about having to run out to grab something before conference will start. So again, thank you to everybody that donated food for those conferences evening. We did did just have pennies for patients last week, and I don't know the exact number. Mrs. Gagne will give that to me, and it's from my student council. The last count we had was about $1,300 was raised, which is a nice total. A little bit less than what they wanted, but again, a nice total for pushing that forward for pennies for patients. Spring fidget retake, again, it doesn't seem like it's that far away, but they are March 4th. And that will be before our next PTSA meeting. So, yeah, anybody that wants to fidget retakes, March 4th.
What do you mean retakes? Is that the spring pictures or is that?
It's just retakes, and it doesn't go to everybody. It's just for those that want to do it, I believe, is how it's set up.
So who just
Yeah.
wants to have the spring pictures?
Yeah.
So not necessarily.
Not necessarily
Just
everybody does it. Yep.
Is that the one where they do something a little fancier with them if they
I
want?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the trees or the flowers behind there.
And we talked about it last month. We did have kindergarten registration. So if you know of any families that's still not registered, that's going to have a child age ready by next fall, please make sure they do that, because again, the more we get in, the staffing, we get a better accurate count for staffing. So we want to make sure that we don't lose any staffing on that, which I doubt we will, but again, if there are any families that you know that 5-year-old will be school age ready, please make sure that they go to the district office or staff in here, get the registration material.
How many are projected for kindergarten next year?
We have 114 in our attendance area.
Okay.
So, and just like every place else, we might get 80% of those or 70% of those, but then July and August, we end up getting probably about 15 to 20
Mm-hmm.
that might move into the area or move. So we always end up with right around 100. We had the bubble 2 years ago, but we ended up with right around 100 students in kindergarten. And last but not least, the kindness retreat, the fifth graders went to on the 21st January. They just had a great time. They were so energized. I didn't get to spend a lot of time over there, but Youth Frontiers does such a good job with it. I mean, the energy that they have and the message that they give, and the students when they come back, if you'll notice, if you walk around the building, there's boomerangs all over the place, and all the fifth graders write something that they want to do to spread kindness throughout our building, and we talk about it at the assembly after that, and they do a nice presentation for the whole school about what does it mean to be kind, which goes along with the PBIS slogan, to safe, respectful, and responsible. So again, thank you to the PTSA for always sponsoring that, because again, it is well worthwhile for our students to attend, because they just come back, and I don't know how long it lasts, but the kids' attitudes are different. And that's it.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions? Salt Day recap, which my daughter came home just beaming, had a great day. Thank you again.
So I think we had a pretty successful salt day. I think more than past years, we had a lot of items donated, which was really helpful, from buttons to vases and all sorts of supplies. And a good committee working on all of the shopping and the day of activities. So I think overall it went well, and we tried some new classes out. We'll have some that we'll be able to grow next year, and then we'll take a look and see if there's others that we should sunset. The class sizes are, because the school has been growing, 608 is what I placed. We'll really have to look at the right size of classes in order to accommodate for Salt Day. We had a couple classes that really only have 7 to 10 kids. We just can't have that small of a class when we have so many kids. And some of those classes, like Survivor, thank goodness Ms. Darrow allows 50 kids in those classes, because we can't have the small classes. But overall, I think we went well. And we, I don't know if we had any big learnings or takeaways, but I think we're happy it's over.
I just have a thought.
Yeah.
I went bowling and it went perfectly.
Good.
We had 26 kids and it was fabulous. The kids had a great time. But when I came back, I was in my room, and I know there was a little kindergartner that was having a tough time. So maybe a suggestion would be that maybe kindergartners get placed in maybe 2 movement classes per the teacher or whatever, and then one that maybe they can choose, because I think kindergartners have a really tough time listening to like anything that they have to obtain attention for a long time. So that would be maybe just be a suggestion that kindergarten teachers place for 2 activities, and then maybe they can choose one.
That's a great idea. And most kindergartners are placed
When
between.
we were together for the one kindergartner,
Yeah.
we had to take an energy break,
Yeah.
and it was hard.
They're mostly in McGruff, gymnastics, Home Depot, and a few others, but there are a few that get placed in other classes because those are full.
Yeah.
So we'll have to look at how we accommodate for those, and maybe we can put more in gymnastics or something so that we have fewer kind of floating out, one in the school because they don't know where they're going,
Yeah.
and two in classes that are more challenging.
Yeah, just allow some movement instead of having to listen.
That's
And a
great.
lot of the kindergarten parents probably don't know what the classes really entail, so they're like, oh, this seems fun. Well, when it's kindergarten, their attention span is this when it comes to, 45 minutes of listening.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good feedback.
We do fourth grade made the thank you. So all the fourth grade classes
sweet.
sign that. So you guys come up with that. It's very sweet. They were very excited. They always have a great time. Even I have a senior in high school and he talks about Salt Day. So,
That's
ask
cool.
him, what was your favorite part of Pine Bend? Salt Day. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
I do have one thing to add about Salt Day as well. Tom Baird did our math course here on Salt Day, and he just keeps talking about. He's amazed at how many people volunteer and how many people come in and how the kids have the opportunity to learn from other people besides their classroom teacher. He was just thoroughly impressed, and he wanted me to say, wow, what a great job on that day, because to organize it and have that many students go through and not have anybody get lost or any injuries or anything like that. We're pretty fortunate. They weren't lost.
I love it.
Outside the door. Yeah.
Do we know how many volunteers we had?
She was with her brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had over 100 sign up, but we
Okay.
had 20 to 30 not show up.
Okay.
And did they tell you?
No.
No.
So I do a final count list up until the night before, and then the morning of, I think I got one email, which was higher than previous years. And so we shifted some volunteers around. And in some classes, we don't have as many volunteers and we had placed them. So we shifted some people around, but we sent multiple emails, but there were people who were sick who afterwards let me know that they had been sick. So there was a little bit of that, but it was a pretty high number that didn't show up compared to previous years.
You would have never known. I mean, it just
Right.
ran so smooth.
You might want to ask the teachers too, like when they're in the classroom, like when we went bowling, Mr. Franson and I, we had one mom with us. That's all we really needed. So maybe to survey teachers on the classes, like, do you think you need that many volunteers for some of these activities? So,
The challenge is matching the parents to the classes their kids are in.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge of, I know we had, I think 2 or 3 additional in bowling because their kids were in bowling for 2 classes and then maybe the 3rd class was something else. So I think we know there's some that we need fewer volunteers, like the mad scientists. We put 2 parents in just to participate because their children were in there, although they weren't doing anything. So I think we'll look at that next year. You worked, okay, good. So I think we'll need to look at that a little closer and figure out how do we get the numbers to balance out a little bit better. It's good.
Anything else?
No, thanks to all the volunteers.
All right. Carnival.
Julie's not here. I
Julie,
don't really have much to update. Did Julie send you an email?
actually, the carnival baskets, Jennifer
Oh, Jen did.
sent me.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting together. We wanted to wait till Salt Day was over because Nancy, I, and Julie have to tear apart the closet and see what we have for supplies and that kind of thing. So really nothing more from last meeting other than just going through our supplies, and everybody's kind of on their own in their own little groups and have much more to report.
And so for the carnival baskets, Jen's starting the process to reach out to teachers for the basket raffle items, and we'll get the baskets to their classes here at the end of March for donations. And they plan on bringing spiritware inventory to sell in the library with the basket raffles again like last year. Any questions for parents that haven't been here about carnival? Into it. Silent auction update. just can't get rid of it. No. Because you have a wonderful thing coming up, it's totally understandable. But we have a plan B. So, so for the silent auction this year, our single biggest item that makes money is the teacher donation items. And so we are just going to put all our energy into the teacher donation items. And I think the raffle was pretty successful last year. I don't know from a teacher perspective.
When they, you know what? I haven't really heard anything honestly about that.
Okay.
The kids haven't really, they've never said anything. That's where they go online, right? And
Right. That's
Okay.
what's going away.
that's going away.
We are going to cut back to just really the teacher items and not the online website. And the coming beginning of March for the teachers, they can sign up for what they would like to offer. And what I did is I took from the website, I was able to take all the teacher items and I just listed them. So teachers can just initial if they want to do the same thing or make changes on there. Because a lot of times I get email, I'm like, I don't remember what I did last year. So that'll be there. And then we'll have that list and we can send it out then in April where parents can order raffle tickets that way. And
What did
I
the
think it's
silent
fair.
auction do last year in dollars outside of the teacher raffle items?
well, the teacher raffle items came about $2,000. And once we pay for the website and the credit card service and all of that, we probably bring in about $6,000. So, talking with Ruth and with the budget, we feel we can manage without that. And the carnival used to not pull in any money, and now the carnival's bringing in money, whatever changes have done that kind of offset that. And so we'll see what happens with people being able to order tickets ahead of time and then buying raffles that night of and really focus on that.
So you won't have the table set up with things on it anymore?
No.
I'm not going there last year.
We did
Well,
last
we
year.
did it
last
last
year.
year.
We're
Okay.
talking this year.
This
Okay.
year.
We're scaling it back.
Trying something different. You know, it's
And last year it was only the teacher items that were in the cafeteria.
it was only
Last year, all the other, like the tickets and whatnot, whatever stuff was donated, that was
Sure.
all done online.
Mhm.
The only things that were in the cafeteria were the teacher. And a couple last minute.
yeah.
As a teacher, I'm sure that was very, very confusing. Like, I'm like, I don't get what I can get raffle tickets for versus buy tickets for versus what I can do that day of or do ahead of time. That was really confusing. Trying to figure out what do I need tickets for versus
That's good feedback. So how,
cash or buy tickets for and not buy tickets for, and then there's stuff. And like if I had to, because I think there were some things you had to do beforehand that you couldn't do the day of,
Yep.
right? And that was confusing. It's not here because I only could do it online. And like I didn't even know that stuff was in here until it was over that day because it was confusing about where things were at. And
That's kind of why I'm confused too, because I wasn't sure. I just volunteered my activity, so that's why I wasn't sure how it rolled either.
so it was just, not, it was almost too much last year to know like, where am I supposed to be bidding on things and not bidding on things? And, I have to do it today, not on. So if I bid online, that's over and done with. A lot of those things I think were done before
Right.
the carnival came. And that was a little confusing because then I thought there was nothing here that day except for that was in like the teacher stuff. I didn't know there was anything here.
the
So-
baskets.
Well, the
in
baskets
here.
are totally separate.
That's
Yeah.
totally.
See, and that was
Yeah.
See, and
that
that's
was
so
not clear because
confusing.
I thought I had to get raffle tickets for the baskets, and I was like, I thought I bought those raffle tickets already.
Yeah.
So that was kind of confusing. What do you need tickets for? What do you not need tickets? What are the carnival tickets for? So might need to clarify. These
Well,
are
might be
for
easier to know.
raffles. These are for games. This is for food. Or having different colors or something. Because for a lot of new parents, that's going to be.
I feel like we kind of talked about that last year a little bit because, or tried to clarify, but obviously we didn't do very good. Because a lot of people's other complaint or suggestion is you have to pay cash in the library for those tickets, but yet you buy raffle tickets to play games and to do other things. So then that gets confusing as well. Something, so we tried to change the verbiage a little bit, I thought, on that. We'll have to look into that. So
That's always been a concern, because when I did baskets here, they would still put their little green tickets or little blue tickets in
Yeah.
for this.
Probably always will be. a little bit.
Exactly, so
We'll have to make sure we try to make sure we have some
Yeah.
verbiage.
A couple little side pictures of the tickets.
We have separate
They're like paper.
Yeah, they have to fill out their name and stuff.
Almost like a raffle.
That's what we do. I mean,
That's what we
they
do.
do. They are. They're
Yeah, I was gonna
printed
say, like,
with like
names,
name,
files,
name
name,
and
phone number.
telephone number. So they are printed. They look very different. It's just a matter of making sure people know that they have to go buy
Just
those.
those separate.
You can't use your game tickets for a basket.
Could they
but
be
technically
sold-
this,
could they possibly be sold at the same location?
I see what you're saying, because
Oh,
then,
sure.
They tried to do it separate to make it less confusing, isn't that why? Because they're usually sold right here.
Right in here, yeah.
They're sold right- Yeah, they're
Yeah.
sold right at the front door and all the baskets are in here.
wonder if we had more signage, or was there a lot of signage? Or is there too many people that you can't see the signage,
I
or?
think that's the issue.
Mhm.
The hallways are so
So packed, yeah.
Just because we have a huge sign on the door that says, you know, whatever the dollar amount is in the cash, but
I wonder if we send something home like the week before, like with a map of everything and like an
Oh, a
explanation.
map is a good idea.
An explanation of like raffle tickets for baskets. And
for example, by the ticket table, please note, these tickets are sold in the library only for the
Right.
the theme baskets.
Or,
So there's a visual.
or that map when you get here, little half sheet or
we
quarter sheet
talked
that
about a
has
map last year and I
And
can't
then-
remember why we decided not to.
the explanation of tickets on that too. Or whatever information,
That's a great
schedule,
idea.
whatever.
You know what, we could put a sign out by that ticket table out here too that
Right.
says, like she's saying, but we could just do one big sign. Yeah. And you know what, it might be easier to go back to the, weren't we talking about that, the one color, where it's like all green tickets are for food, games, blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
the white ones are for, yeah. So we'll have
Yeah,
to
we
figure
thought
that
we had a
out.
different color last year for the teacher items, and then it was. the
And then it
same
became,
color.
no, yeah, then it became a total mess.
So if I can coordinate with you guys a
Plenty
little
of
bit.
tickets this year in the same.
Yeah,
color.
same
We're gonna
color,
use
yes.
Twice as many tickets. as
Yeah,
we did last
exactly.
year.
Or 10 times. Like,
Right.
Or
It's gonna be,
10.
yeah, we're just gonna get a lot
Get
of
ready.
We're gonna
tickets.
have a whole closet full of.
Right. For the next 5 years.
So we don't have to run to Walmart in the middle of the carnival. The last 2 years.
Mhm.
But
All
thank
right.
you. So I'm new to this, so I don't know a lot.
Now you're really confused.
That's what we need
Yeah.
to hear, to give
Yeah.
us feedback, thank
So,
you.
the information that goes home in Wednesday folders, do you guys get feedback or is there some kind of like way to measure how if parents are reading that and if they're then, you know, sending things back or responding? Because I know when I get my Wednesday folder stuff, I get my calendar out and I write everything on there. So if I got that, I'd be like, oh, good, because then when I have my 4-year-old and my 6-year-old, I'm running through the halls and my 4-year-old darts off and I'm not seeing a sign.
Right.
I'll at least in my head know from my Wednesday folder sheet that.
Having it in Spanish, if it's at all possible.
Yeah.
Whatever information is best, if we can get it in Spanish, you're gonna cover bigger numbers than you think, in communicating about the carnival.
And we do have a parent signed up that will translate for us.
That'll be very helpful.
I think Jen Holland knows
Do we do the ticket order forms in Spanish? We should do that. I don't think
Yes.
I don't think we have done it in Spanish.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can use the Google Translate, but then you need someone to look at it because.
Right.
Even maybe at the carnival, if that person can write even a couple signs in Spanish, so people know where things are, like this is theme baskets, food. As a school, we're trying really hard. If you go in the office, you know, we have hello in a whole bunch of different language, and that is kind of our mission as a PBIS school, is trying to start transforming our building, so it's, especially for Spanish-speaking families. So maybe that night too, we can transform some posters with Spanish on it, so if families come, then they know what it is.
Especially for the shuttle too. It may help with
or the parking issue?
Sure. The one information sheet that comes up, I'll just make sure, like they've been doing the front and back.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I think about it, would it be less confusing to go back and just have teacher items be auction? I mean, when I look back over the last few years, they both raffle versus silent auction, they both raised about the
How did you
same.
do it last year?
I like the raffle
I like
because it gives every kid an opportunity to get their name in there.
Yeah,
Right,
Because
right.
If so and so can't bid up to $25, that I might be able to buy one ticket for $1, and then at least I have a chance.
Yeah.
right.
I
Instead
do
of
like the
telling your
raffle
kids
option
that-
better instead of saying, sorry, we can't afford $50 to
Yeah.
bid on lunch with Mrs. Lacy.
I wonder if we can give it a pizzazzy name. or something.
I liked that. It was just, I thought that the items that were in there, or that were in here were the items that were online. So it was
The
kind
baskets.
of, yeah, it was these baskets that were in here that were confusing out.
I don't think we communicate much about the baskets except please donate items for them. So
Right.
ahead
I
of
do agree
time.
with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do need to have something about the baskets because I agree with that from my first year here.
We'll have to make sure we put some verbiage on it.
Basket versus the teacher donation versus the online. Those three separate things.
Mm-hmm. But there's no
But the
online.
online won't be happening.
Yep, so that's good.
So
One less
the-
thing.
what
Yeah.
are the baskets? Who donates those? Where they come from?
Each
Parents.
classroom
Okay.
has kids bring in donations. Each classroom has a theme.
Okay.
And they create their baskets, and then those are, you can buy the tickets and you put your tickets in however many baskets you wanna be in for. Yeah.
This year your theme is chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. and
Yeah,
everyone
you'll get a
brings
note.
something, They put them together basket. You come in here, they're all in here. You buy a raffle ticket.
And then at the end of the night, everyone's like crowded in here to see, cause they're like the hot commodity.
Mm-hmm.
People get pretty excited about it. Especially Mr. Piney. Everybody wants the cat. I know
Oh,
you did.
did you
I was
really?
standing right
Oh,
next to
nice.
you.
If you're gonna win, you might as well win.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you everyone for the feedback. That is really helpful, and maybe I can kind of confer with you guys, and we can. Instead, would it be helpful to have everything on one piece of paper or each separate thing? You know what I mean? Because one week one thing comes, another week that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
One piece was super bold.
We just hope it goes out. One of my kids doesn't come home with a Wednesday folder.
Oh.
Luckily, I have the older one, and so I get all of her stuff, but I don't get my first grade.
No, they used to do oldest and only.
They don't.
Until
Oh.
your sticker falls off and you don't get anything.
Yes, we've heard the story before. Lisa.
So I'm just afraid some other parents, I don't know. I mean, I don't worry about it. 'Cause I just,
Well, I think we can do Wednesday folder and the email.
the email.
And
Yeah.
both.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the red folders are for the teachers.
Teachers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anything we put out goes in the Wednesday folder. Well, that's because your kid didn't bring home her Wednesday folder.
She's got issues. I mean,
Apparently.
You
Yeah.
just talk to Cameron.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, wellness committee.
I don't have a ton of updates because we haven't met since December. But I think the last time I gave an update was early December and we had applied for that grant. And we did end up getting the grant, which was really cool. The check came in January. And I talked to the teachers last week or 2 weeks ago. Part of the grant was to get a portable cooler that they could use for milk storage or milk transportation, snacks in the classroom, field trips. So we had a budget of 17 of them we could order. I'm glad you guys ordered some. So it's just the size of the milk crate. And then this is with the cart, yeah, everybody got it. So it's easy to move around. And the second part was for funding to do some sort of health and wellness thing in school to promote health and wellness. So kind of behind the scenes, I've been working with Andrea, Ms. Cook, and Ms. Garrow to see if we can work it into a PTSA function or a half-day school function. Kind of a running event Are you including mental health wellness in it too?
I would love to.
I could help you with that.
It's, I just started it in September, October, I think the first meeting was, so very initial early stages. We have a few staff, a few parents, so always looking for more. Yeah, I can get your email before we get, because I really want to have another meeting.
And who was the grant through again, Sarah?
It's through Fuel Up to Play 60, which is a health and wellness program that's in schools. Andrea, Ms. Cook and Ms. Darrow have been doing it for the last couple of years, so I just kind of help them do a little push and say, hey, let's try to get this money. Because they kind of do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming. Victor the Viking is coming.
February 22nd, I think, that Monday. Yeah.
So part of it when you're at, and I consult with Fuel Up to Play 60, it didn't have any barrier or, I wasn't included just because I consult for them, because somebody else looks at the grants. They don't even know that I consult for them. But I just realized how easy it is to. But part of the program is they'll get special perks. Like they get prizes from the NFL. Victor the Viking is their mascot. So he's coming to Pine Bend, and it's a 45 minutes health and wellness video, interactive, all about being physically active for 60 minutes a day, and then how to get all 5 food groups. It's a lot. I don't know if it will be good to parents. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Is that the Vikings mascot?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we fired them.
No, this is the
No, like the Disney character version.
yeah. He wears the big.
Not the human version.
Yeah, not the human.
Like
Yeah.
the costume version of Victor.
We just didn't.
Not the bald headed.
Ragnar, yeah.
But that's about my only update. But yeah, looking for staff or even like community members that would like to join and give some input. I know I've been doing a little monthly mailer for the Pine Bend staff. Just the random recipes and ideas. Looking for new members.
Thank you. All right. It's that time of year where we look ahead to the following year, and Kate is vice president this year, which we're kind of changing that title to president-elect. And so we know who our president is, so that's exciting.
Looks like I'm on my own.
And looks like you're on your own, so good luck.
Yeah.
So we do have some people with interest, but I don't think we have it officially written down for that piece. And so we need, if you look down below, a nomination committee. So that would just be someone to gather names and create ballots for that process. And I mean, we have some people that are willing in those positions, but most of us have children that are moving on, and we would also like to move on with them to the middle school. So that's where we're at. So we're looking for vice president. I should have written it as president-elect, so it was very clear. And then secretary, which we do technically. We'll just wait and see how the
What
vote
does the
comes out.
nomination committee do?
Just at the meeting, write down the names, and then if there's more than one person that wants the role, create a ballot.
How does that work? Can we nominate people or do people have to express interest?
You can nominate.
You don't.
Oh dear.
You don't have to accept the
The
nomination.
nomination.
I nominate.
Uh-huh.
I said, no. If people have to, is it enough? If they have to express, what did you say?
You could just express interest. Now, if you would like to nominate someone, you could.
You can nominate, but they can say
They
no
can
or
just
yes.
turn
But
it
they have
down.
I
that.
didn't know if there's a formal process of.
That's funny that you asked, because I was curious of that too. So I got on Google. I'm like, how does this work? And there's a 2-page really formal thing, and I'm like, maybe we don't need that. But there is a process that is out there. Like if somebody did want to be really formal in the nominating committee.
Let's just say we haven't had to vote since my kids started here in kindergarten. She's
Right.
a 5th grader, so we've never had more than one person show interest.
Do we have people who've expressed interest in each role, or do we have roles that don't have anyone yet?
We do not have anyone that has spoke up for president-elect. The secretary, Jennifer would continue with that, but again, her kids are getting older, so if someone is willing to take on that role, she's fine with that. And same with treasurer. We have interest in that, but again, you just need to interest and actually doing it are two different things when it push comes to shove.
So at what meeting
So I think
will we do that?
I think next meeting for sure we need the names gathered and then we'll vote in April.
So how do we get that word out to people that aren't here, that may be interested or that?
The newsletter, there will be a little blurb in the newsletter with that. The agenda was sent on the email today, so I think that kind of gets it out there too to anyone that actually opens it and looks at it. But if people are interested, then they will be doing that. Who would you like to nominate?
Sometimes there's a formal process of.
Oh, yeah.
We're not so formal. We can be. I don't know. What is the formal process? I mean, really.
Robert's rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Robert's rules are like how to run a. Like when we say aye or nay, that's part of Robert's.
You have to be a member, it's actually a full member
To vote, yeah.
And technically, that's what.
That's technically what we do.
So please seriously consider, especially if you have younger children, because it goes fast. It goes fast.
Can't miss it. I know.
Like, don't forget that looks really nice.
I know. I might take it.
Is anyone here interested in running the nomination committee?
I can do it.
Would you do that? Thank you. I think it'll be
Okay, that
a
sounds good.
minimal
I'll help
amount.
her
We'll
if
do
she
it
needs.
together.
Yes, we'll do
To
it
be
together.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 3 people now.
Oh,
you all just run for office.
I knew she was gonna say that.
We're on the nomination committee, so we don't have to run for
Yeah,
office.
exactly.
I did read if you're on the nomination committee and you are running or you're in the hat for one of those that you would then, you
She's
still
lying.
can. You still can.
Oh, okay.
She's making up the rules as we go, I think.
No, I read that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So we just need to be prepared to write down names at the next meeting and if required, prepare a ballot.
Ballot.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, can we do an online ballot or does it have to be a paper ballot?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
As long as we don't have to have.
Yeah, really.
What was that?
Put your heads down on the desk and raise your hand.
As long as we don't have to have a recount.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're good. No chats.
Maybe if anybody's interested, provide one of your emails,
Okay.
so then they can contact you.
They have to write a short paragraph.
Right.
What?
A speech.
Can I
Yeah.
Sarah or something.
We're gonna require speeches.
Right.
Speeches?
We're changing this all up.
Maybe you should offer them candy and a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That might have more success than them give a speech. Stephanie, do you want me to put your email for contact? Thank you. And you can defer it to someone else on your committee since you spoke up.
It's quite a committee.
I know. 3 good, strong minds. Let me tell you.
And then new business change to labels for education. Did anyone else see that?
I did, I got it.
Um,
Basically, it's ending.
yes.
I have the email right here.
Oh, thank you.
They stopped printing it on a lot of the cans.
It says.
Yes.
You want me to read the
That
one?
would be wonderful.
Okay, it
Thank
says,
you.
Dear coordinator, we're writing to update you about Campbell's Labels for Education program. For the past 42 years, Campbell's has proudly offered labels for education, which has contributed more than $110 million a number of ways in which we support America's kids and families as part of our commitment to being a responsible corporate citizen. During the past year, we've been assessing the impact of these programs, and through this, we've seen the participation in labels of education decline considerably. Sadly, it is at the point where we have no choice but to make a very difficult decision to wind down the program. The program will continue exactly as it is for the remainder of this school year. There will be changes for next year's program starting August 1st. Until then, there will be no change to the bonus offer calendar or participating points. So basically, keep in contact. They're going to provide tools for us to continue to do the sheets for this year. Then it goes on to say, we will continue to support America's kids through a program called Grandstand for School sweepstakes that will run annually in August and September. Last year, we contributed more than $1 million to schools through this program. In addition, we give around $70 million annually in funding and food to support programs aimed at building healthy communities and tackling hunger and obesity among America's most vulnerable children. So, ending.
In our budget or what does this mean for next year that we won't have?
I'm thinking we have to get all of our points that we have. Like I'm doing there's a bonus point one right now where you have to fill out these hearts with 5-point ones, and you can get up to, there's so many bonus points you can get. So I'm doing those right now. I have the order form for the stuff that I put in the teachers conference room before, and I was going to send that in so I can get all the staplers and pencil sharpeners and stuff ordered at the same time I turn in the bonus points. So I'm send in 2 different ones, but there's also some things that we can do to get some more bonus points. So I want to get those turned in soon. So I kind of know what we have to do.
So basically, we order things with those points. It's not cash that's a part of our budget.
It's the box tops that we get
Right.
cash for.
Yeah. Okay. Was that what you were wondering?
So I'm just trying to figure out, like, did we avoid spending, I'm going to make it up, $500 this year because of this program, or did we, no? It's just extra. It's a nice to have,
extra.
not a,
Mm.
okay.
They've ordered over the years, like stuff for the playground, all the toys on the
playground
playground,
balls.
and all that kind of stuff.
But that's still money if
Yeah,
Mhm.
and this year I'm gonna order, there's 2 pencil sharpeners, staplers, like electric ones for teachers in their classrooms to have. And depending, there was a few other things that I ordered more of the priority and made sense items for now. There was a few other things that were marked that were kind of nice to have, but not something. But there's iPads on there, so depending, I don't know how we feel about that. I kind of was like, I want to buy one iPad for one class and then all the rest.
I wouldn't, because all of that technology has to go through the district office anyway. They control all of our apps,
Right.
everything, so.
Yeah,
I would
that's why I
probably
didn't
stay away
order it,
from
because I was like, I'd rather order like the sharpeners, the balls, that kind of stuff. Staplers.
Was there an end date for like the last time you can turn these labels in?
No, not yet, but they're gonna keeping us updated. I'm following them on Facebook, and I get the emails and all that stuff. And they just had another one where we could get like 600 extra points if we put a code on the next sheet. So I think they're trying to get people to get all their points turned in. There's nothing yet. So, yes, it saves us some money, but I don't have a dollar amount because it's all based on points.
Mhm.
There's no dollar connected to it. So I don't know how much the balls cost or what pencil sharpener costs. But kind of sad. I mean, I was gonna do a little bit of research to see what this other program looks like, but much about it. I haven't had time. Just got it yesterday, I think. So,
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Any other new business things you want to bring up? Would someone like to make the motion to adjourn? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Anybody want some popcorn for their kids? We get stuff for fundraising, popcorn palace, so feel free. Gertens, coffee stand, Hardin. Oh, yes.
And I think I will.